Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs Postgame Show podcast presented by PointsBet. Use the promo code CHGO when you sign up to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. Cubs win in the corn 4-2 over the Reds. It is their World Series, if you will. The Field of Dreams game. Along with Cobby Del Mendo and Corny Friedman, I am Luke Schuckmeyer. And yes, we are hoping that Ryan Herrera will be able to join us later from Dyersville, Iowa, and the Field of Dreams. 197 miles from Wrigley Field. They still did it. Cubs go out and play a game in the corn. I have to admit, it was a cooler game than I expected. For it being 2 horrific teams, 45 wins versus 44 wins, the battle for third or the battle for last in the division, it was a better event than I expected it to be.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the worst possible thing could happen is if both teams come out, there's a bunch of errors or something like that, and then we're just the laughing stock.
Oh, yes.
There
you go.
Stock of social media. Turns out the only thing that people were laughing about was Harry Caray's hologram.
Jack R. liked it.
It's the first. I'll take that, considering how bad both these teams are. So, yeah, I thought pregame, like after we got off and watched a little bit what they had, everyone walking out of the corn,
Griffey
and like all the kids with their parents that they had chosen and the players. I thought it was great. I think it's something obviously that the MLB better bring back after they do their renovations and everything. Because I think it is a great event, and I think tonight kind of proved that really doesn't matter if the teams are good or bad. They probably get higher viewership if both teams are good, but I don't know. I am genuinely okay or happy because the Cubs won, but also I'm happy that at least the product was good. Like, I think that if you tuned in and you're not a Cubs or a Reds fan and you watched it, it's like I thought that what they gave us was okay. Like, I don't know. It's not going to be a memorable one. Like, we'll remember it because we're Cubs fans, but, like, in 5 years, like, people will forget about this.
It was more interesting than the Cubs and Reds playing in Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah.
For sure, yeah.
Than what we're going to get this weekend.
I think the miking up Joey Votto, that one inning was cool.
Hap
was good.
They even did it with Hap, and unfortunately that inning went super fast, so they didn't have him that long. But they also had Fergie Jenkins in the booth with Smoltz and Davis.
Mm-hmm. Johnny Bench was up there too.
Yeah, Johnny Bench. I think for the game that it was, I think that they did as well as they could have. But again, I wish they would have just not done that 7th inning stretch. They should have just put the video up like they do at Wrigley.
It was a fun day, right? Like all the content, them coming through the corn. There was some video of the Cubs players like milling about the house from the movie set. And yeah, like, it wasn't the best game any of us have ever watched, but it was an entertaining night of baseball, I think. And for me, like anything that starts, the broadcast at least did with Ken Griffey Jr., we're off to a great start. I think that's just good for the game of baseball. I think people, especially maybe like Cody and I's age, like that really resonates with us.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, but Johnny Bench was more for you, right?
Oh, wow. That's cold.
Fergie Jenkins.
Lucas has a good point on the chat saying it'll be interesting to see what the viewer numbers are compared to last year. I actually don't think it'll be that close because you had the Yankees in the last game, and the Yankees are going to be the draw. I think the Cubs have Cubs are a similar type draw, but they're not good right now.
Yeah. Right. Well, the retention last year, because last year's game was and it was an electric game.
Here's my idea. Because that game was so great, I don't think they will ever top that game. This was cool, except for the fact that it was 2 bad teams. I think I would tell Frank Thomas, do this every 5 years. Don't turn into the Winter Classic from the NHL.
Yeah.
Don't let it just become something where it's like just another game and it's on in the middle. And like, make it special for the 2 teams that are there and make teams wait at least 3 years between doing it. And they're going to go out and they're going to build. The reason they're not having a game there next year is they're building these youth fields so they can compete with Cooperstown, and they'll have youth baseball tournaments there. Great. Let that be a big thing for a couple years. Let the kids go there, but then have that connected with a major league game when you come back in a couple years.
The Winter Classic example is a good one because I remember when that first started.
It was awesome.
And it was such a novelty. And they had so many unique places to go. And now they do it, and it's like, oh, it's the Blues and Blackhawks again from some football stadium. Yeah. You lose the novelty a little quickly with stuff like this.
I mean, I think you could have any team, 2 teams, go out there and it'd be cool. But it'd also be kind of cool if it was a thing where a local Midwest team was always in it so that their fan base could drive to it. I don't care if it's the Twins, the Brewers, whoever it might be. It was neat that that's what happened. Obviously, Cubs-Cardinals would be a great matchup. Cubs-Sox playing one of their crosstown games there would be
electric.
Really, really fun.
Yeah.
So that's what I would like to see. As for the game, Drew Smyly, where were you a couple months ago when we needed you? Like, he looks good, and this is why they signed him. They could have picked up a nice piece for him at the trade deadline had he not been injured prior to it.
I think there's definitely some teams that are going to need that depth going forward as they head towards trying to make the playoffs that are probably kicking themselves for not. He had that. It was like that one start where we were debating, like, should he be out there right before the trade deadline, and it wasn't really enough to convince anybody, I guess. I think there's going to be some teams that are like, shoot, we probably could have had some nice depth for, not that great of a prospect, but the Cubs would have taken it. But, yeah, I mean, he looks great. The last few outings have been pretty solid.
Man, I think a lot of teams right now might be regretting it because if you can get this guy, like you said, for the last 2 months, I don't care if he pitches in the postseason. Just to try and improve your position so you're not in one of those lower wild card spots or just trying to get to one of those wild card spots. I'm sort of shocked in the chat that a lot of people seem to kind of like the hologram.
The chat is
positive,
wildly different than what I'm viewing on Twitter because I have not seen anybody say that they like that. But hey, to each their own. It wasn't for me.
You guys' reaction was a lot more like I could tell you guys hated it immediately. Mine was more of like, why is he wearing a suit? Like, I don't know. Like, if you're gonna do a hologram of Harry Caray, like, just make it a little bit more vibey at least. Like, I don't know.
It just didn't look good.
No, it didn't look good.
If you're going to do that of a guy who's no longer with us, right? It should at least, I think, pay respect to the person. And I think when it looks like that, it's just one of those decisions like, just don't do this. Like at Wrigley Field, they show the video. It's authentically Harry. It's a video of him, and it looks great. Everybody has a great time. This is a nice idea if it looks really good, and there were just some shots of it that, like, to me were like kind of nightmare fuel, I thought. Like, they just did not look like Harry Caray, and at that point I wouldn't do it.
The image of him from behind Harry looked like Ashley Schaefer from Eastbound and Down, or it looked like Dr. Brenner from Stranger Things, or Jimmy Johnson from Fox Football. It was not Harry Caray.
Yeah. Lucas says that the hologram gave him hives.
I mean, really, it's kind of crazy that the reaction is hot or cold. There doesn't seem to be. Cody's like the one person that's like in the middle here, just kind of saying, "Oh, it was all right. It wasn't the worst thing." I thought it was really weird. It didn't look like him. You could have just had the voice of Harry Caray singing that, or you could have just put him on the Jumbotron like you do at a Cubs game, and that would have been okay too.
I love the idea of having Harry get a moment like that to honor him and the tradition of him singing the stretch. I love the idea. And, when we talked about it in pregame, there was that like tweet that was like, it's potentially offensive. I was envisioning worse. It wasn't as bad as I was thinking.
I don't know what they thought was offensive about it. I just didn't think it was that good. If I would have been a decision maker there, I just would have looked at it a couple hours beforehand and would have said, we don't need to do this. Nobody knows how it turned out. Like, we put some time and effort into it, but I don't think it's that good. Let's bail on this.
I'd be curious, like, if you were Chip Caray, are you, like, into that? Or are you like, oh, man, I wish you would have left that alone?
That's interesting, yeah. Dutchy or, I don't know.
I agree with Clark in the comments. Like, the video at Wrigley is Harry. It captures the spirit, the energy of Harry. It's really him,
Yeah.
This just wasn't that. It's a nice idea. It just it missed for me.
It would have been better. Again, it would have been better if it just would have done the video like they do at Wrigley. Again, I wouldn't even say I'm in the middle. I lean more that I didn't like it. But again, what bothers me the most is that he was wearing a freaking suit. Like,
You wanted shirt off, Harry.
yeah, shirt on,
Bleachers, Harry. Yeah.
Give him a Budweiser.
There
like,
was no Budweiser.
No Budweiser. Nope.
Like, I don't know, just like they had done such a good job of like making it fun for like those two teams that were playing. Like,
Yeah.
fuck it, just give him a beer and let him be Harry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's what bothered me. And I get it, like live national television, like maybe for family purposes they ain't gonna do that. But
You could have been holding a beer, right? Like
Right.
it's all sponsored by
Yeah.
beer
yeah,
companies.
right. Like, I
Clark
don't
nails
know,
it, though.
like-
You can't capture the character of Harry Caray in a
Right.
hologram, and then, like, Fox was smart enough to not show it a lot.
We got that
A lot of crowd shots.
and
They
the
were like,
pulled
let's
back.
get let's get how the crowd's reacting to it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey, they tried,
Drunk Harry or GTFO. All right. Anyways, Smyly, let's see. Smyly was one story, right? Harry Caray was another. The other, Nicky 3 hits.
Madrigal,
Nicky
What?
runs batted in.
he's back.
Nicky
Nicky
fast
2
legs.
bags. Yeah.
Nicky 2 bags.
Is he for real?
Listen, man. I keep saying it. More. And more. We need more for me to buy in. I need more.
Cody, we flipped roles here. I was over there saying, wait a minute. If this is the guy, if 3 bases and 2 stolen bases is the guy that the Cubs got from the Sox, thanks, Sox. And if you get Cody Hoerner to pitch like you think he can next year coming off the injury, wait a minute. This would be a fleecing.
Listen, man.
This is back to having good upside for the Cubs.
For sure. No, this is great to see. And I'm not out on Madrigal. Like I said yesterday, I'm not out on him. I'm just not all in. I'm like maybe half a step in. I'm
1
like
foot in.
Yeah, I'm like, like I'm going. But like
You're a toe in the cold pool, just checking to see what the water's
yeah,
like.
again, what he is doing this week, I guess you could say, is giving you the value that he brings, which is hits and second base he's been fine, hasn't made any errors, whatever. I don't know. All I know is that if he plays well these last couple months, then that pushes his value up, and perhaps the Cubs can flip him and they can go sign a Bogarts or a Correa and whatever.
Correa at third, Nico at short, Madrigal at second.
And that's fine too. But I also am okay if you put Morel at third. Like I
might be in left.
Nick Madrigal to me right now isn't someone that you can be like, this guy has to be on the Cubs in 2023. He's a nice piece, but
Unless he's getting 3 hits a night.
well, yeah, but that's the first time in his career, Stuckey.
I know.
I know. You're playing devil's advocate over
I
here.
am.
So again, I need to see more for me to believe that this is what we're gonna get all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's basically where I'm at. So, and like I've said all season, Nick Madrigal shouldn't be stopping you from going to get a top tier infielder to play alongside Nico Hoerner. And one of the biggest reasons that I'm kind of not all in on Madrigal, despite what he's done this week, is him and Hoerner are very similar type players, and that was kind of the pushback about the trade when it was made last year, because both him and Nico, they don't have a lot of power, and maybe Nico could eventually, but still, right now they're both very similar players in terms of what they bring to the table. Obviously, Nico's been a lot better than him. He's been healthy, all that stuff. Not saying that they're equal. I'm just saying that the type of players they are very similar. So
on offense.
Yes, on offense. So you gotta have one of them has to have a little bit more power than the other, in my opinion. And Madrigal doesn't have a homer this year. He hasn't been able to stay healthy. So again, I just need to see more, and then maybe I'll be able to reevaluate. But this is a good start. I love that I love that he's doing it. I'm happy that he is playing well, because if you go back to the beginning of the year, I picked Nick Madrigal to be like comeback player of the year. So don't say that I'm a Nick Madrigal hater. I wanted him to work out with the Cubs. I will say that I feel like I have seen enough of like what his peak could be with the Cubs, but I could be wrong about that too. So anyway,
Corn could have changed him.
The
corn, walking out of the corn.
I mean, I think I don't think it should make you a hater to say you want to see more. I think that's totally fair, right? Like, he's had a nice week and his OPS is 580, right? Like, he needs to play better for you to, like, include him in whatever your future plans are. But, you know, it's one of those things where, like, I think you look at what he did with the White Sox when he was healthy. He's, I think, definitely not as bad as the way he started his Cubs career. I think we knew that. That was like really bad and just
no one thought he'd be that bad.
Yeah, I don't think that that's who he is. Where he's able to get from here, if he's able to keep this up, who knows? Yeah. But it's only a good thing for the Cubs, whether he's doing it here or somewhere else, whatever, if he's able to keep this going.
If Madrigal is more trade value, that's okay too. Whatever. If he's the bench guy, that's okay too. Yeah. Like, I'd love to see somebody that you could put in. You need a pinch hit, you need a base hit, great. You need to spell somebody for a day, move him around.
Well, and you can't, you wouldn't keep someone on the roster just for this purpose. Ideally, he'd be doing more than that. But he's also a good guy. You look at like the extra innings rule, right? You need someone to make contact, right, move the runner over. You'd want Nick to be that guy, right?
What the heck is happening to me? I'm all sucked in on Nick Madrigal being a part of this team moving forward. I just became Cody. Like, we just flipped roles.
It's like me and Lucas.
Your spirit came across the room and jumped inside my body.
Wow. Are you ready to vibe out, Luke?
I feel like I'm vibing. I might scooter home all the way to Arlington Heights.
Get Luke a couple Busch Lights.
Yeah, get Luke a Busch Light stat.
Yes. Take off the shoes, Cody. Give them to Luke.
Get Luke on the scooter and get him a Busch Light. Let's
Jackar, the corn changed Steve.
No, again, like it's been a nice week for Madrigal, and it's great to see. And like I know I said maybe if you could build his value up for the Cubs potentially to flip him. I mean, if not that, he'd be a very nice, just depth piece off the bench. I think I've listened to other people talk about this team from other shows and stuff. And, we talk about, the years of Daniel Descalsos and
Eric Sogard.
Who should not be named that Luke just named.
He's going to be in the comments.
And Jonathan VR and all those types. The Cubs are building their roster to where they don't need to go sign guys like that.
Yeah.
And Nick Madrigal could be a guy off the bench that could play on certain particular days against certain pitchers, whatever. That doesn't mean he'll only play or start once or twice a week. It means that I think matchup-wise it would really matter for him. I would think differently if he could play other positions, but really second base is the only place that he can play. And I mean, I know on the shift we've seen him make some throws from short, but like it feels like every time he does that, it's like he's throwing as hard as he can, and it's
he
like
can only play second.
and it's just like he's really got to like pull a Nico this offseason and bulk up and like kind of get a little bit stronger and everything. If he were to convince me that he could play short, and I just don't see that. I don't.
He can only
it.
play if you want to have a good elite tier defense. He can only play second. Well, and you and I talked about this kind of on Tuesday, Luke. Like Nick is one of those guys where if he can, keep going and get those numbers up, like you have a lot of guys where are they starters every day? Maybe not, but you need that depth. You need those role players. And Nick is another guy. Like, he's got 3 options if you needed to send him down. Again, he's ARB eligible in 2024. He's not going to, cost you millions and millions of dollars every year. So it's one of those things where it's worthwhile to have him out there, see if he gets hot like he has been this week. And then you kind of have all these players, and you might have a lot of decisions to make as to where they're playing and what you want to do with them, but that sounds like a great problem to have for the front office,
I agree. I mean, listen, you're trying to accumulate people that can play baseball at a high level. at the major league level. I don't care where you're going to try and fit them and pull them. Like right now, you're just trying to gather as many of them as you can, and you'll figure out where to put them.
Yeah.
That said, Madrigal at second, Hoerner at short, Correa at third, and then you go find yourself, who would be your first baseman?
Re-sign Wilson and put him there.
And
Wilson at first.
and
Wisdom at
platoon
first?
with Mervis.
Patrick Wisdom, Mervis, yeah, sure.
Mash, Mervis, and Wisdom share first base next year?
Yeah.
Sure. Who just keeps hitting, by the way. He had another RBI double today,
Nice.
I think, for Iowa. Mervis just keeps hitting.
I did find some things that's wrong with Mervis. Apparently his splits are like really bad in terms of like he can't hit left-handed pitching. So maybe that, like everyone who keeps clamoring for Mervis, maybe that's why he's staying down
I
there.
think Patrick Wisdom can.
Because
Wilson certainly can.
Joel says
Because
Trey Mancini.
He struggled against
Sure.
left-handed pitching.
Yeah.
So I don't know, whatever. But anyway, yeah, I mean, sure, that could be an option. You could, and if you keep Madrigal, you could also, you could play Nico at second and Correa at short and Morel at third on certain days. We've seen how the Cubs work, and like they just like they never have the same guys playing the same positions every single day, except for like when the core was here. They would, obviously Rizzo was at first and Javi was at short every single day. Bryant was the only one who would play all around the field. You know what I mean? And
Right.
And
And not at
Schwarber always
first.
played left.
Not
But
at first he didn't,
though.
right?
At first he was always at third, right? So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just think that everyone wants to talk about this guy will play here, this guy will play there. It's like, well, in a 162 game season, it's just they don't throw the same lineup out there every day.
Well, and you worry about that. Get the good players, have these guys develop, and especially like Madrigal too. Like he's a big contact guy. Like Velasquez, you're looking at a big power guy. You want to see that power play.
Yeah.
You gather the tools, you gather good players, and it's David Ross's job and the front office to figure out where to put them. 1 through 9 on a daily basis,
Or how to package them. Whatever.
Right, but it like in terms of like who plays where, like it always reminds me of when Javi was coming up and they had Gleiber and Russell, like, and everybody's thing was like they have too many shortstops. Where's everybody going to play? Don't worry about it.
Right.
If they all succeed and they're all good,
You can't get rid of
who
Terrio.
cares, right? It doesn't matter. They're good players. You want good players, they'll figure out somewhere to put them.
Cody, how did your bets do in the big Field of Dreams game?
I think I finished pretty even because I made too many bets. But I did tell everyone the main winner tonight, and that was Nelson Velasquez to get a hit. Could have got at plus 100 on PointsBet tonight. So $10 wins you 10 if you place that bet. That's a beautiful thing. If you don't know anything about sports betting, just know that I was right. That's all that matters. Okay. Anyway, made the bet on PointsBet. And I love opening that app because I love to gamble on sports. And the main reason is because it's the best way to support CHGO. So when you download the PointsBet app, Luke did it one time. It was
Twice, actually.
Yeah. It's been a wild experience.
Oh, no, I did it once. I found logins twice.
Yes. Yeah. There
Went
you
through
go.
that. Yeah.
If Luke did it, so can you. So when you download the PointsBet app and use code CHGO, when you sign up, you get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. That's a lot of money, folks. But that's not it. If you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all of our web content. You even get a free shirt of your choice from the CHGO locker. That's $2,000 in free bets, a free CHGO membership, and a free T-shirt from the CHGO locker, all for making more than a $50 first-time deposit at PointsBet. If you have any questions, you can email pointsbet@allchgo.com and help you out, and we will help you out. You're home for live in-play betting just got even better. See an edge in the game you're watching. Is your favorite team primed for a comeback? I live bet the Reds tonight in a way to hedge my emotions, and also because I thought the Cubs were going to blow it, but then they didn't. So I actually lost money. That's why I said I finished a little even, because I placed too many bets. Don't just watch the game. Bet along with it live. More live betting, more live markets, faster live cash outs. Follow along with your bets the moment they hit and stay in the live action all game long. Download the PointsBet app right now and use promo code CHGO. So what are you waiting for? It's time to elevate your live betting game. Once the game starts, don't just bet. Live your bet life with PointsBet. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, Call 1-800-GAMBLER for crisis counseling and referral services.
Our next partner has a product I use literally every day. Started taking AG1 because I didn't have time, wanted better gut health, more energy, and optimized immune system. I'm starting to wonder if Nick Madrigal's on it the way he's been playing baseball, because we've seen
He
that.
just started it.
He just started it when he came back, right? It doesn't taste super healthy. Instead, it's got this mild tropical taste or flavor to it. I take it in the morning. 1 scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help start your day right. A special blend of ingredients supporting your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, aging, all those things. I get a noticeable boost of energy, so I take it, bingo, first thing in the morning. That's how I start my day, and giddy up, there I go. It's lifestyle friendly, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free. You're all good with AG1, and you're investing all-in-one nutritional insurance for less than $3 a day. It's recommended by professional athletes. More than 7,000 5-star reviews right now. Reclaim your health. Arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. 1 scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. You don't need a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens will give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/CHGO Cubs. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/CHGO Cubs to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. I can't get over how many people really, really enjoyed this on the chat. Like, I made fun of this game for a long time on this podcast, and I will admit I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to. I know everybody that goes to the Field of Dreams in Dyersville and goes to a game there or experiences it, just goes when there's not a game there, they go to check out the movie site. Everybody says it's a cool thing to do. Everybody I've talked to that's been there loved it. But I just thought 2 bad teams on television was going to be a bad product. And other than the hologram that I didn't care for, it was a good product. It was one of the most interesting Cub games of the year because it was a different setting.
Yeah, and I mean, it seemed like, looking at social media and like CHGO Cubs mentions and stuff, like it seemed like everybody had a really nice time. And it's a good, I think it was Kevin in the chat earlier, like that it made part of the regular season, which of course in baseball is very long, feel special. It was a unique night, like something in this week to kind of look forward to, and baseball doesn't have too much of that. We get a lot of that because the Cubs play at Wrigley Field, and it's a, beautiful historic setting. But this felt like, similar to like when it's the All-Star break, like something that you gather around and watch because it's an event that they're putting on.
I have a question. Like, Iowa's a cool connection because of the Iowa Cubs, and all the Cubs fans that are in Iowa that didn't have a major league team and then now root for the Cubs instead. Could you do this in Southern Illinois? Could you do it in other states around the area? Does it have to be the Field of Dreams site, or could you just put up stadiums in the middle of some of these cornfields that aren't doing very well? Some of the farms aren't doing great, so a lot of them are turning into wind farms. Could you turn some of these into baseball fields where you could have major league teams pop around and just play random games?
They should do that in like states that don't even have a team.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
right.
Iowa's the perfect example, but
right.
Like, should Nebraska do this?
Well, if you went,
that's why the College World Series is so popular there, because they don't have a baseball team, so they treat the College World Series like it's the World Series. Everybody wants to go.
Well, so you mentioned the Winter Classic earlier. Like, what if you went? Like, does it have to be cornfields? Like,
right.
or
could
like,
be cool
if we went to like Cody said, places where they don't have major league stadiums, just cool places
Alaska.
to set up a baseball stadium,
Hawaii.
right?
Yeah. I don't know, like
cool backdrops.
I think about Tennessee. Like, there's a bunch of minor league teams. The Cubs have a minor league team there.
Mm-hmm.
The Tennessee Volunteers baseball program is one of the best in the country. Like, there's baseball fans in Tennessee. Maybe on the east side of Tennessee, with the mountains and everything, maybe it'd be a cool scenery type spot in some place. I don't know where.
How about near Mount Rushmore or something? Mount Rushmore in the background.
I don't know. I just think that
4th of July game every year. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
like something somewhere where
Memorial Day.
there's just no major league team. Just build like a unique ballpark that kind of represents what that state or that location is about, because that's what all these ballparks for all the other home teams are about anyway. I mean, everyone talks about the history of Wrigley and like what it brings. Like that's like the main reason people love it is because of like the history and all that. Like, and you have all these other stories for all these other places too. Even the newer ones have something about them that sticks out from the other. I mean, PNC is a good example. It's not that old, but people love it because it just has a great view and all of that jazz. So like, if you were, it's going to take a lot of money, but I'm just saying, like, they don't have to do it all and build like 10 of them right away, but like just build one somewhere and just say, hey, we're going to do this here and we're going to, invite the 2 most popular teams or whatever, and then just see how it goes.
Cooperstown. It's similar to what I'm saying Cooperstown did when the Cubs were there, right? Like, I get it. Like, the movie set makes this a cool spot to hold this, but I just wonder if there's other opportunities for some other towns to do this for other teams.
As long as there's some kind of connection to the community and some cultural element. Because, like, I remember when the Cubs, I think they played the Pirates, right, at the Little League World Series.
Yes, I think so.
When they had,
I just remember Rizzo
Cassie,
sliding down the hill.
That's what I'm thinking of. But that's why I thought of it, because, like, the lead up to it had all of that going on, right? They're hanging out with the kids. They're going down the hill. It had, like, a big kind of event feel that tied into the community and was a big event for the people that live there, and it was fun for us to watch on TV. And I think this, tonight is kind of the same thing. This is tied into the movie, but I think you could find that elsewhere.
I mean, if you went and played a Major League Baseball game, Dominican Republic and Cuba, some of these other countries.
Jack says Sandlot. Where's the side of the Sandlot?
What seems like it'd be small.
Yeah, right.
Where do we play CHGO softball? Maybe we can just get the Cubs out there.
Right, yeah.
At Mozart Park.
Yeah.
All right, I got off topic.
If anyone goes to the street, that's a home run. We do have a super chat here from Isaac, though.
Oh, sorry.
Evansville, Indiana has the 3rd oldest park in America and will host a game soon.
So I just looked it up. It's called Boss Field, built in 1915, the 3rd oldest stadium besides only Fenway and Wrigley. And it's the site for filming A League of Their Own in 1992.
Okay.
So that would be really cool.
We can just keep doing movies. That works too. There's a lot of baseball movies. So
just don't do Moneyball. I don't want to go to Oakland. Yeah, I don't want to go to Oakland. I've been to that ballpark.
Not so scenic.
Before we get to the Ricketts quotes, Cody, you put on Twitter today your top 10 baseball movies, right?
Oh, God. Here we go.
Sandlot number 1, 42, Major League, Hardball, Moneyball, League of Their Own, Rookie of the Year, The Rookie, For the Love of the Game, and Field of Dreams.
In that order.
How is The Natural not in your top 10?
I watched it in...
Roy Hobbs. How could Roy Hobbs not be in the top 10?
I watched it. Ironically enough, I watched The Natural for the first time in a photography class I took in college. And I don't know. Just...
Nothing?
It was okay. I don't know. Just didn't hit me like all those other ones I watched. And we talked about it off air, or maybe we did talk about it on air in pregame, that if I think I would, to please most people, I would need to do another list of my favorite baseball movies that are strictly like all about baseball, like Sandlot and how like baseball brought those friends together and stuff.
Sandlot's good.
Right? Like Major League is like my 3rd favorite one, mainly because it's a comedy and like there's a bunch of things about it that aren't even related to baseball.
How is Bull Durham not on your list?
I hear you.
Is it too old for you?
I mean,
as a kid, my favorite baseball movie before Sandlot and those came out, the original Bad News Bears, as a kid, was really funny. It was really good.
I've seen
and it was
both.
About Little League, so you could kind of relate to that. It was Sandlot before there was Sandlot.
But my point, I guess, what I'm saying, like a lot of people don't think Rookie of the Year is a good movie. I don't necessarily even think like that it's a good movie, but I grew up with it. Gardenhauser is playing for the Cubs as a child, like that. Like it's because I grew up with it, and that's why I like it. And I understand that it's not necessarily the best like cinema out there related to the game, but like like, again, that's my personal preference. When it's on, I will watch it, and I will quote every time the guy can't say his last name right. Like, it's just something that it's how I am with, like, Space Jam. Space Jam's not even a good
I'm not a Space
movie.
Jam guy either, and I know that's a generational
right,
thing.
like,
Luke.
but I love
That's-
Space Jam.
man.
I could sit and watch Space Jam anytime. So, like,
Teenage
that's
Mutant
kind of
Ninja
like
Turtles?
that's the best
No.
comparison I can do. I can do it with Rookie of the Year.
I think pretty much anything Michael Jordan was in.
Where did
Sports or
Where did you just
otherwise.
pull out
Sports or
Teenage
fictional,
Mutant
I
Ninja
mean.
Turtles?
You guys like
from?
Shazam too? Shaq as a genie?
Well, no, it's Shaq's not Michael Jordan.
Okay, just making sure.
42 though is really good. I really love 42,
Mm-hmm.
and I really love Sandlot. You know, there's a lot of really good ones out. Moneyball.
I love
is a
Moneyball.
good one.
Moneyball's a great one. It's
Yeah.
a totally new
League of
take.
Their Own is
League of Their Own
great.
was on your list, yeah.
The Roger Maris movie,
61.
61 was good.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
League of Their Own is a good
A lot of
baseball
people
movie.
have Field of Dreams up pretty high, and like
I don't have it in my
I
top
used to
five,
have
for
it
sure.
a lot higher, but then I've watched some of these other ones that are on my list that are higher. Like, watched them more recently. I'm like, these ones make me feel differently. So
You see this crap on the chat? Steve is my dad's age. I understand where he's coming from. Is that a backhanded comment? I believe that is.
I love David's comments. Like, Jesus Christ,
If
Luke,
it's not, I
Space Jam
accept
is
it.
a cinematic classic.
I want to hear.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
I want to hear. You know,
When Bill
Matt-
Murray just stomps out onto the court with his with his sleeves underneath the jersey and his Jordan 1s or whatever.
It's an all-time moment in cinema.
If you try to tell me that Space Jam is a better basketball movie than Hoosiers, I'm
No,
done with
it's-
this podcast.
It's not
forever.
about the basketball movie. I just want Matt Peck and Big Dave to hear that you don't like Space Jam. I don't know that they like. I'm pretty sure they must like Space Jam. I don't know.
I'm just not
Those
into
That's a hot
cartoons.
take.
I'm not
Those
into
guys
cartoons.
definitely like
I'm not into
Space Jam.
cartoons.
They definitely like Space
They must
Jam,
like
and they
Space Jam.
definitely
I didn't want to
hate
make any
Space Jam
assumptions.
too.
Yeah.
They
Oh, yeah, I
definitely hate
definitely
Space
hate
it's
Space
Jam.
Jam
terrible.
It's the
too,
worst
yeah.
movie. Luke, go watch Space Jam 2. You might find a newfound appreciation for the original Space Jam.
We're gonna watch
I
it
don't
when
have
we
that
get
kind of
off.
time.
When we get off this live.
Moneyball was a pretty good baseball movie. I don't have it up there with The Natural. I don't have it up there with Bull Durham. I don't have it up there with Major League. We've said before that one way we might finish this season off the last 2 months is a Ricketts cardboard cutout, and every win, a little piece of the polo comes off or something.
Yeah.
Have you seen Major League?
Of course.
Okay, I mean, Major League is like an amazing
I've
movie.
seen
Right.
all. What are there? 3 of them?
Yeah, I mean,
The third one is not good.
the first one is the one that
yeah.
counts.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And like I've seen people on Twitter like use Major League to like kind of compare it to how the Cubs are running things, or at least how it seems the
You're
Cubs
right.
are running things.
Well, isn't
So-
the owner in Major League trying to sell the team?
Yes.
I think
Yes.
a lot of
Wants them to
where's
lose and
Michael
they start
Collada?
winning.
There,
Yeah.
that
no
would
no
be a
love
great
for no love for bench warmers. John Heater,
No.
Rob Schneider.
It's a good movie.
Come on, Corey.
No,
Shut
Joey.
that down so quickly.
No, I can't.
Angels
really,
in the outfield.
what about Naked Gun 2, where there's a lot of scenes at Dodger Stadium and he's the umpire? Now those are some great baseball scenes.
That's all time. Enrico Palazzo.
Yeah, so good.
I got you, Luke.
So good. Unfortunately, I won't even say it.
Everyone knows what we're thinking, what we're talking about.
Yeah. All right, the Tom Ricketts quote. So he talked to ESPN, Jesse Rogers, before the Field of Dreams game, and there were some quotes that you like to see, read, hear, whatever you want to say about him. But there were some things last year that were said and haven't necessarily lived up to the hype. The competitive team, and I said, well, boy, that they gave themselves a lot of wiggle room with competitive.
Yeah.
With competitive, they could have gone anywhere. You can be competitive one day and not the next. You lose a game by 2 runs. Were you competitive? I guess so. But if you lose 10 of them in a row, was that competitive? No.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
So here, the first one he says, I'll be the first to acknowledge this is not the type of baseball Cubs fans deserve.
we need that
I know
one.
Cody likes to see
We need
that.
that
Oh, yeah.
one, the Michael Scott, where he's sitting in front of the Wayne Gretzky quote. It's that, but it's Tom, and it's Tom Ricketts, and then Cody.
And then
yeah.
me, because I've been screaming it for
Yeah.
like 4 months. Again, I will say this. No matter what Ricketts was going to say today, people are going to find a way to complain. I'm actually surprised Michael Collada's not in the chat getting ready to roast us.
Maybe he's at the game. Maybe he was in Iowa.
Yeah, who knows? But I did say, before the All-Star break when the Cubs were really, just going through all the motions of being bad, that after the break and the deadline that we needed to hear from him and Jed, and we got a good dose of Jed. It was just nice to hear Ricketts say something because we hadn't heard from him since August last year. So literally a year. Last year he said on Marquee that the Cubs were going to be in the running for the division in 2022, and here we are, and they're not, and things are bad, and that makes people want to hate him more, and I get it. And did we spend enough? No, we clearly didn't spend enough. Was that for the fault of Jed, or was it the fault of Tom? I don't know. We're never going to know. All I know is that it was time for him to say something, and it was long overdue. So I will take that, and that's my 2 cents. Is that I'm glad that he spoke, and I'm glad that he recognizes that, hey, we give you a lot of freaking money. I'm going to do something about it. If you want to look at it that way, fine. If you don't, I get it, because actions speak louder than words. So I just appreciate that he came out and spoke, because he'd been in hiding, man.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the truest way to look at it. Actions speak louder than words. This is nice to hear now, but it's all about what they do to actually make efforts towards being better next year, because I think you look at some of it and you can parse through okay, were they this, forward about this last year? Did they get into certain specifics? And I don't know. They're always kind of vague. They always kind of couch their words, right? Like you said, with saying competitive. There's a lot of interpretation in what that means, right? Yes, it is very legal. It's procedural, right? But I could go back. They used to say it's in emails now, but when they were doing physical tickets, they would send a letter from Tom in the season ticket holder, boxes they would send with your tickets. Always. We are committed to using all of our resources to winning another championship and giving you the best team you deserve, right? He's never said anything else. So sometimes we've gotten that, for sure, and other times we have not, but the line is always the same. So how much you put into this is up to you. I will say, though, there is a lot of smoke being generated to this that they don't really have to put out there. Jed has spoken on this. I think Crane has even spoken on this. You have writers like Ken Rosenthal going on Marquee. They're inviting Ken Rosenthal on Marquee, knowing he's going to say, I think the Cubs are going to sign Carlos Correa or Trey Turner or Xander Bogaerts. There's a lot going on there that does sort of point to that. And with where the team is at, you look at, we're not in a place anymore where tanking automatically gets you the pick in terms of where you finish. Yeah. The benefit isn't really there. People, of course, are always going to go to Wrigley Field, but it's not 40,000 every night. They're not going to get any playoff merch or any playoff tickets or any playoff beer sales. The motivation really should be there to back up that exact line of thinking. We deserve a better brand of baseball than this. It's literally better for everybody. They make more money. We're happier. We don't have to yell when we come on here.
We sell more merch.
We sell more dope merch.
Right.
It benefits everybody. So I hope that they mean what they are saying, but it means nothing until we actually see it.
Yeah.
Do we have the other quote? Joey was off on Tinder or something was going on. I don't know what he was on, but there it is. Sorry. Our moves over the past year put us in a position of strength in both player and financial currency. We plan to be very active again this offseason, competing in the free agent market. So he is kind of saying, again, by the way, we did sign Suzuki, we did sign Stroman, we did a few things. We gave, Smyly. We did spend money. What did they give Yan Gomes? Was $10
million?
No, I think it's even more than that. Isn't
it was 2 years.
Is Gomes $13 million?
Yeah, that sounds right. 2 years, 13 or 14 million. So he's making $7 million.
Yeah. So I mean, they
2 for 13.
Yeah. So
just a very
6.5.
team friendly.
They did spend money. They just didn't get the biggest name guys that were out.
And honestly,
they didn't get Correa. Let's be honest.
Right.
It was
like,
Correa.
Now, this offseason is this offseason where they should go get a big name player because they've been able to develop clearly some nucleus of young players who have potential of just being very nice players. Maybe more than that, but we don't know yet. So, yeah, if you add in a big-time player, whether it's a top of the line and rotational arm to be your next John Lester type signing, cool. If you go sign Bogarts, whatever, if he opts out,
right?
Like they got to do something like that. They got to make the big move.
Well, and I think, like, when you look at some of the moves they made last year, and we talk about the word competitive and the sort of loose interpretation you can have of that, the thing they didn't do was make sure that this couldn't happen, right? They did not make it, they didn't lift that floor for this team. They didn't shore up all of the potential depth issues that we saw in the rotation, especially some of the offensive issues. And it would have been tough to turn the end of 2021 roster into a World Series champion. And I don't know if anybody really expected that. But they could have prevented a situation where this team was 20 games under 500 battling for last place on national television. And that's what they didn't do. And that's where, people are going to kind of read those words and be like, okay, yes, you went out and signed, one of the biggest position player contracts for a Japanese player in Major League history, right? You signed Marcus Stroman, who was one of the biggest fish on the market. But did you do enough to
you
make
let the
sure
Twins get Correa?
Right. And did you make sure that you were going to be able to compete in what is, as we're looking at it, a bad division? We knew this division was not going to be good. It's not going to be won by a team that's going to win 100 games, right? You could have competed, and you didn't do that. You didn't make sure that didn't happen, and here we are. So that's why people were mad coming in, and why they hear this, and they're like, okay, yeah, sure, show me, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so they got to...
There it is.
I'll be
perfect.
I want to tweet that. Please send that to me.
I'll send it to you.
Anyway, I think everything that Tom said, it's again, I'm just glad that he said that he opened up, that he talked. But yeah, I mean, I can't stress enough how important this offseason is. I know every offseason is important, but especially if you want this rebuild to go as Jed said last year. Jed said this isn't 2012 or 2013, and despite how bad it is, I believe that is true, because you cannot sit here and tell me with a straight face that this roster is as bad as 2012. You just can't. We've seen many young guys come up and perform and look like a guy. Brandon Hughes, example tonight, and we've seen other players. Are they part of the next great Cubs team? I don't know. Probably not all of them, but there are guys here that are talented and young. And in 2012, they had to literally tear it down to then build it back up. Like, there was no infrastructure in this organization at all in 2012. I mean, it was that bad. So at least there's infrastructure in the organization going into this year. And, again, we've seen them play better of late. They've gone through decent stretches where they've looked competent. And, of course, they've had a ton of bad ones. But to me, the maybe World Series 2025, whatever. But as far as being a competitive in the race in this Mickey Mouse division that we play in, they should be in it every year.
And the $500 million or whatever they spent to renovate Wrigley Field and the area around it and the hotel, all of it, that spending should be done now. That should be mostly done. They've bought up all the rooftops. They put up the hotel. The clubhouses have been redone. Wrigley Field's been renovated for, generations of future Cubs fans.
Yeah.
So I get it that was a huge investment for them. But now it's time to focus back on what's going on inside the stadium and on the field.
Right.
Yeah.
And hopefully that continues. Hey, if you enjoy CHGO, one way to help us continue to grow, download the PointsBet app. Use the code CHGO when you sign up. Not only do you get those 2 Risk-free bets up to $2,000, but if you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all of our web content. Ryan Herrera at Dyersville and the Field of Dreams right now. Hopefully he'll be able to join us if he can find Wi-Fi out there and find a spot in the corn.
He said there's a concert going on the field.
There's a concert going on right now, he said. So
he's not
he
sure.
just texted me and Stuckey says, I don't think I'll be able to hop on. There's not a place for me to do it.
Okay, so, and he also has to drive back here tonight.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But he will have great stuff at allchgo.com. So to get your membership, make sure you read Ryan's stuff. He's had some great stuff out on Twitter as well, and send some of it to the CHGO accounts as well. If you want to follow us, we're all there. If you have any questions, email pointsbet at allchgo.com, and we will help you out. And in case you missed it, online sign-up and available in Illinois. You can actually download the PointsBet app right now, register your account, start to finish, all from your phone. Signing up with the fastest sportsbook is easier than ever, so you can start living your bet life in seconds. What are you waiting for? Once the game starts, don't just bet. Live your bet life with PointsBet. Gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. That is Ryan_A_Herrera on Twitter. So he will send out little tidbits of what he might be sending you there. Some post-game's been on there. He had a lot of pregame photos, interviews, videos of him walking out of the corn in his CHGO swag. That was nice. Did you see that?
He got the whole Field of Dreams experience today.
Speaking of quotes, this isn't from Ryan Herrera's Twitter, but I am on the CHGO Cubs account right now, and Tommy Birch, who works for the Des Moines Register, he tweeted a quote from Seiya Suzuki, "There aren't many cornfields like this in Japan." He had a good night, man.
Yeah, he did.
He started the rally in
That's
the first inning. I think he's been, obviously you can clearly say he's not been a consistent player this year. The injury didn't help, but I do think that he is trending up towards the end of the year. And obviously, aside from that, cool experience for him, especially as someone who's not from this country. Right. And I said to you earlier, like, you think he's even seen this movie? Like, it's not like Field of Dreams.
I'm just going to guess no. First of all, it's an old movie.
Yeah.
I bet you he hasn't seen.
I just
Field
don't think
of
it's like a globalized. Like
it's a
baseball isn't as globalized as like the NBA.
It's a fun movie
whatever.
to think about trying to explain to someone that has never seen it and also isn't from America, so it doesn't grow up around cornfields and stuff.
Right.
So this guy lives in a cornfield and
nice
these ghosts,
story,
come out of it and
Ghosts,
they're like,
they
what?
cheated in the World Series. They tanked it. They're the White Sox.
He builds a
And then he plays
baseball
catch
field
with
in his cornfield, and a bunch of ghost baseball players come and they play this big game. It's a classic, Seiya.
Yeah.
How do you ever not heard of this?
What's not to understand?
Right.
It's pretty
the
straightforward.
ghosts of the 1908 Black Sox in the cornfield.
And he plays catch with his dad. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan got to do it all tonight. He got to come out of the corn. Cody kept waiting for Sammy Sosa to kind of shove Griffey aside and walk through the corn.
I was praying maybe he would just walk out of the corn.
That's Cody.
Just as
That's
the
more
Griffies
Cody
were
fan
walking
fiction.
through and the attention went to them, all of a sudden Sammy came out.
Man,
corn parted.
wouldn't he just steal the show?
Oh,
Sammy would have
electric.
came out of the corn, sprinting.
Uninvited.
Yes,
American
with
flag.
the American
Yeah.
flag. Oh, vibes
Electric.
would have just peaked for the 2022 Cubs. I would have been like, cancel the season. This is all I want the rest of the year.
What if Big Z was swinging a bat like a sickle, just cutting down the corn in front of Sammy? And Sammy came out, then ran across with the American flag.
Yeah,
Ricketts
I'm
have to
into
welcome
this.
him back.
You know.
That would be it.
Ryan took a good picture of Carlos Zambrano pregame. Dude looked like he could still go out there and hit a few cornballs. That's all I'm gonna say. Like he looked good.
Cornballs.
Yeah.
We didn't get any cornballs. Not a single cornball. They should have played Fran Mil Reyes. I bet he would have sent one into the corn.
Yeah. Joey Votto was there. He was mic'd up. That was cool. His Twitter thread was cool going into it, talking about his father passed away more than 14 years ago now, but playing catch with his dad. And that movie, he had a VHS of it, and that was one of his great bonds with his father was playing catch. And so he was excited about this game. And as I watched him do that interview, first of all, I thought, wow, he's going to be great as a broadcaster. If he wants to be an analyst on a game, Joey Votto would be outstanding. First ballot Hall of Famer for me. Wish he was a Cub. I think he's my most respected Cub killer. Like, I'm trying to think of guys that just absolutely destroyed the Cubs. I think of Dale Murphy of the Braves back in the day. I think of Mike Schmidt, just destroyed the Cubs back, like old-time guys. Votto in this current era, or the last, like, 2 eras of baseball, he's the guy. Who else do you respect that's a Cubs killer that you're like, man, that guy as a Cub would have been pretty cool, and I do respect him even though he's on the other team?
I think Votto's got to be at the top of that list.
Votto's the list. Cody said Jose Abreu for the Sox. I respect Jose Abreu.
When they do play, Jose Abreu murders this team.
Most of the guys that come to mind, I absolutely despise. So Votto is definitely in that group where, like,
Daniel Murphy. Yeah, that's one too.
Do we
I don't
respect
like
him?
Daniel Murphy at all.
No, I don't respect him. Dale Murphy was a heck of a player. Mike Schmidt was a great player.
Yeah. Well, no,
I thought you said Daniel.
Oh, I know.
Murphy.
He said Daniel Murphy.
No,
yeah,
that's
and
a hard no from me.
I was going old school Dale Murphy first.
Yeah,
Right?
Daniel Murphy is that's gonna be a no for me, dog.
Hard no.
You know, just out of the sake of just being down the middle, like the unbiased person that I am, clearly all day, every podcast that we always do, wink, wink. You know, Adam Wainwright has had a great career, and he is shoved against the Cubs more times than I can count. And that just because he does it, and I hate it because he's on the Cardinals, does not mean that I don't think he's had a great career. And honestly, they don't talk about him enough because Pujols and that overrated catcher that they have, like, overlook him. And it honestly, I feel bad for the guy. He's 40 years old and still actually playing well. That he's doing more than what Yachty and Pujols are doing. Both of those guys are washed, have been washed for years. Wainwright could come back and play again next year, honestly. He's pitched that well this year. But
Wainwright's one. Goldschmidt's the new one over there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how you can't respect Goldschmidt.
I liked him when he was
He's not in that
there.
Votto. Votto's like fun.
Oh,
He's
no,
like a
no,
fun
no.
player.
Don't get me wrong. Votto is still, for me, at the top of that list. Goldschmidt is a guy that I respect, and he's been on multiple teams and crushed the Cubs.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have the reputation of, like, off the field like Votto does, because you just never hear him do interviews, and he's not on social media. At least I mean, he might be on Instagram, but I don't think he's on Twitter. But from what players say about Goldschmidt is that he's like a great person, great human, whatever. So
I would have liked him as a Cub.
I would have loved him as a Cub.
You know. What about Pujols?
What about him?
Is there a respect there for him being? I mean, not now. I'm talking about like.
No, I was complaining about him being in the home run derby. Like I think that was when we were on with Kevin, where he said that he knew some people who were like interested in the home run derby because because Pujols was in it. And you and I were both like, I'm not here for this Cardinals, like, I
already said enough
tour.
nice things about a Cardinal. I can't say anything.
Hold off on that.
He's a historic player.
Back in the day.
Has a great reputation and is like a community guy, I think, across the league. But I don't care. I don't like him.
Willie McGee never liked him
either. I can't wait
either.
for him to retire. I don't have to like everybody that's good in
anybody
baseball.
on the Brewers, like Prince Fielder? Was there anybody that was on the Brewers at some point where you were like, okay?
I think because he also played here, I never like despised Carlos Lee. El Caballo.
All right.
I liked Carlos Lee a lot.
When he was a free agent, I kind of wanted it.
I forgot he played for him.
Jeremy Burnitz played for both
Cubs
teams,
legend.
too.
Cubs legend, yeah.
Wait, what?
He's here.
Oh, we got to run it.
Perhaps.
Is he going to emerge from the corn? What's happening?
Emerging from the corn. That doesn't look like corn.
Whoa. Build the Wi-Fi and he will come. Here he is.
Ryan, can you hear us from the corn?
Is
Ryan
here.
Herrera.
How's it going?
Hey, we got him from the
Tell
corn.
us all about it. How was it? Was it as much fun as it looked?
I mean, it was a lot of fun. There was a lot. I mean, you saw all the legends come in, the Griffies kind of emerging through the corn before the game. I got to talk to Carlos Zambrano a little bit before the game, so that was pretty cool. It was cool. Going to have a path from the field, like the field we just played on, back to the actual studio set field thing with the house and all that thing. So it was pretty cool. I didn't get to go check out the house, but took a couple pictures around it and stuff. So that was fun. I mean, it was a long day, and then they had this concert there was this concert, it was loud as hell. Press box, I couldn't sit in there. Couldn't go into a different workroom because I didn't want to be loud in front of other people trying to work. So I'm like running around trying to find connection, and we're in the cornfields in Iowa, so I don't have any good connection here. So I'm like, well, I just had to wait it out. And they were playing that Applebee's commercial. It's that band, the Applebee's, whatever that thing is.
The Applebee's
it was that band. Yeah, it's like fancy,
Lieutenant
like
Dan
Applebee's
band?
or whatever it's called. I don't know, but
I don't know who it is. I know the
Applebee's
commercial.
has
Thought they probably could have gotten a better act.
Oh, the guy
but
that
surprising.
sings about Applebee's.
Yeah.
yeah,
I know that
yeah,
song.
It's about
Yeah.
Applebee's.
Yeah.
So I had to wait them out, and they just ended, thankfully. And so here I am.
The styrofoam cooler and that one.
Uh,
Sings about a styrofoam cooler and two straws.
Yes,
Two
yes.
straws.
How
of
about the
Applebee's.
Oreo shake? On Applebee's on a
Yeah.
Friday, I believe is the
Yeah,
tagline.
yeah, that was real popular last summer.
Ryan,
I know what the kids vibe to.
Ryan, when you were meeting Carlos Zambrano, did you also get the vibe that if you put a bat in his hands tonight, he would have sent one into the corn? Because that's what it looked like from your photo.
I honestly, did you see the picture I put up there? I mean,
Yeah.
that's like, it was kind of the same as the picture I put up with Soriano a couple months ago. Like, he put a bat in both their hands. They're hitting one in the corn. And that didn't happen today, clearly. But, yeah, he's looks like he's in good shape. Maybe if pitchers could still hit, he could make his comeback.
Back for the Chicago Dogs, maybe.
Yeah, Dogs legend.
That too.
I'd love to see Zambrano just come out there and do batting practice for like one game. Just let him do batting practice for a little bit. Just want to see if he can hit a few into the bleachers. I'd love it.
I wanted him to give Ryan during the interview the Fontenot treatment, the hammer to the nail, the hammer to the nail, the hammer. Then you would go down a little bit. Remember when he used to do that? That was so funny. It was so good. They both played along with it. That would have been the gift of all gifts, Ryan. I do have a question. You took the video of yourself coming out of the corn saying, "Is this heaven?" in your CHGO swag.
Yeah.
When and where did you change shirts? Was it a scene when you changed shirts? Like, did you just do this in the middle of the field? It doesn't look like there's like changing rooms there anywhere.
No, I just had the shirt underneath. It's
Oh,
underneath
okay,
my
it was a
Hawaiian,
shirt underneath.
Look at, I got my Hawaiian on.
It's underneath. All right.
Beautiful day, had to have it on. Yeah, it's underneath.
I was going to say women and children. This is a family show.
No, it's
Are you pulling that up?
That would have been NSFW.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we
I
ask
hear
that
that.
you please
What was that? Bring your attention to a creepy hologram of Harry Caray. What did you think of that? You only saw a little. Have you seen it now, Ryan? Because at the ballpark, you didn't really get to turn
Yeah.
around and see what they were doing on the broadcast.
I saw the video, and like I sent you guys the video, and I couldn't really see in the booth from my vantage point. And the only time I ever kind of looked at the video board that they have here was kind of the back of his head, and I'm like, oh, maybe that's just. I thought it was just someone like pretending to be Harry Caray, really just like the back of their head, like a stunt double-esque kind of thing. And then I kind of get back up to my seat, and everyone's like, no one really knew what to say about it. I'm like what? Like, it didn't seem that bad. And I found the video on Twitter, and I saw you guys, talking about it in Slag, and then I saw the video on Twitter, and it was weird. It was unsettling.
How do we know that this is you and not a hologram
It's a
of
great
Ryan
point.
Herrera?
Yeah.
Well, if it was a hologram, we wouldn't have him on the screen. We would just be panning in
Oh, he'd
closely
be in
to
studio,
you guys so
yes.
that nobody could
Yes,
actually
right.
see it.
Like looming over us. Right. Okay.
That's fair.
Ryan, do you think that the Field of Dreams game will be the game we remember as the night that Nicky 3 Hits emerged as the next great star of the Chicago Cubs? I'll hang up and listen. First time caller.
I've been on Nick Madrigal all season. I know we had a few non-believers, Corey especially.
Not at the beginning of the year. I was a defender when he was getting railed on Twitter, but yeah, recently I'm not the biggest believer. That's fair.
Yes, but I've been saying all year. I think he's just needed time to get healthy and really get in a rhythm and healthy at the plate. Like, that's good for him. He's had that. It's been like was it like 7-8 games since he kind of came back and doing it. 3 hits today. Maybe Luke. Maybe this is the breakout. I saw somewhere it's the first ever 3-hit, 2 stolen base game of his career.
Yeah.
So,
he had a Ricky
Nicky
Henderson, man. He was Ricky Henderson out there.
It's Nicky 3 hits, Nicky 2 swipes.
Nicky Henderson?
2 swipes. Nicky 3 hits.
Nicky
Nicky
runs
2 swipes.
batted in.
2 walks in the game on Monday.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm telling you,
like,
he's Ricky Henderson, baby.
diversifying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nicky Henderson.
Nicky Henderson. We're gonna go that far, baby.
All right, so I know you got to get on the road. We want to get you on the road. What was your overall take from the whole experience? What was your favorite part of it, and what was your overall take from it?
Well, I'll give you my least favorite part of it was the Zambrano picture because my notifications are kind of blowing up, and my phone my tweet deck is just the notifications are going. So no, but my favorite part, I mean, really seeing the Griffeys come out out from the cornfield, even though they said have a catch, but whatever, that's the line in the movie. But seeing them come out, seeing the players come out, obviously the Cubs and Reds legends was really cool. I mean, just the theatrical part of that is really cool to see, especially in person. Like, it's one thing kind of watching it on TV, but when you see it in person, I thought that was really cool. No, overall, I mean, the Field of Dreams, I think it's a good event, and I know Kevin actually talked to some. He went out, talked to fans, and me and him talked to a couple of Iowa guys. They were actually the ones that let us use their gloves and recorded us playing catch, having a catch. But we're talking, they're both from Iowa, and they're like, it's one of those things where Iowa doesn't have a major league team in any sport. Like Iowa State and Iowa Hawkeyes, those are their 2 teams, right? So to have a place where Major League Baseball teams can come and bring something to the town, bring something to the state, play a game that's really an event. It's not just like some regular meaningless game that they're playing out here. Like MLB puts on a good show. I think that was just kind of the overall takeaway. I guess everyone's least favorite part was the Harry Caray thing. In reality, like that was. I think we can all agree on that one. That was it was weird.
All right, one last thing. Let's take care of business. And let's put me into first place in a tie now for who you got with my Nico Hoerner pick. And I believe that's like 4 out of 5. I am on a tear.
Stucky Nation,
That's 6
baby.
in a row.
I
who
think
did
it's like
who did
4
the
out
other
of
2
5,
pick?
but I think I won. I didn't win.
Ryan, I liked your
Cody
pick tonight.
won one. I was in the same position where I had a chance to tie, and then Cody won one, moved ahead, and now I've won 2 in a row. So
Shoeless Joe.
Shoeless
Who
Joe
did you-
didn't come
Who did
through
everyone
for
else
you.
pick?
I had Velasquez.
Morel.
Oh, Morel, okay. I mean, I think this is kind of crap because I'm out here running around, getting all the content that we
Do we
can
have Ryan?
and
Did we lose Ryan?
And you guys are just sitting there, just researching your hearts out, trying to get the best who you got pick, and I deserve at least half a point for this. For running around.
No. You got to go.
Right.
And I had to sit here in
Right.
the West Loop
With the old
and do
guy.
this show with Luke and Corey.
Throw corn around.
You could have
I
taken it.
I know Kevin is in the chat, but I am just a little salty that we couldn't find a way to send us all there because this was a once in a lifetime experience.
Cody and I went and threw corn in a city park. That's how we celebrated. You can
Cody,
find that on
Cody.
Twitter if you're looking for it. Instagram, Twitter.
Cody,
YouTube.
I offered to switch our roles a long time ago, and you said no. So
Oh,
it's kind of on you, man. It's kinda on you.
Ryan.
I don't need Cubs PR telling me how to tweet in person. All right.
Ooh, low blow.
Yeah,
Wait, Ryan,
you'd
I've
be
got
in
one
trouble.
last
You'd be in
question.
trouble. You'd be in hot
What's up?
trouble.
Ryan, are you shotgun or are you back seat on the way back?
I'll be shotgun. Me and Kevin hanging out. We're not tripping, road tripping. We're hanging
Yeah.
out. I'll be shotgun. I
He's in the-
got to be a co-pilot.
He's in the chat.
What kind of tunes you? Here's the deal: if you're coming from Iowa, you need to be rocking like Tom Petty on the way back or something. Put on Full Moon Fever and Into the Great Wide Open, and then maybe a little Foo Fighters. You got to stay awake, so something's got to be upbeat. You can't have Pink Floyd on when you're coming back, or whatever this Applebee's stuff is.
They're just gonna play that on a
Yeah,
loop.
you can't play the Applebee's song over and over. Ryan, what kind of music are you going to use to keep yourselves awake here?
I'm gonna let
Metallica?
Kevin choose. He drove here. He's driving back. I'm gonna let Kevin pick whatever he wants to pick.
He's in the chat asking what you guys should talk about on the drive back.
3.5 hour drive back. He wants to know what you guys should talk about. I would put on Metallica and just ride.
Just ride.
Just ride.
Like
Roll down the windows, Metallica, and just ride.
It sounds like a good live stream, live show. Ryan and Kevin from the car talking Cubs.
Don't you on a road trip just like to crank the music as loud as you can? Like, that's the time when you get a rock concert going in your car.
Do they agree on music though? That's the thing. Do they have agreeable taste? That's tough.
See?
For 3 hours.
I can listen to anything.
Kevin's thinking country artist.
Matt says Sandstorm the entire trip
on repeat.
On repeat, yeah.
Kevin's gonna break out his favorite Bette Midler "Wind Beneath My Wings" CD.
If you were driving with Luke, he'd probably be playing like Little Baby the whole time. That's one of his
Loves
favorites.
Little Baby. Saw him at Lala.
Yeah, I saw him at Lala.
Yeah.
He was opening.
A beach bunny, is that what they call him?
Bad Bunny.
Beach Bunny.
We are so blessed to get to work with you, Luke.
Beach bunny, isn't that what they call him?
Oh,
No,
goodness.
it is not.
I know
We're
the
gonna
one
talk
song
about
starts off.
Applebee's.
Bad Bunny, I know who it is. You punks don't know.
Little AC/DC,
AC/DC would be
There you
good.
go.
Metallica would keep you going.
little Kiss,
Yeah, little Kiss.
Bon Jovi.
Oh, Bon Jovi.
Jovi.
Play a little.
Do you know
It's my
Do you know that my cousin
life
used
on
to
the
make
whole- the
their
entire way
costumes
home?
and travel, and she's on the thank yous in the first album?
For Bon
Slipping Away.
Jovi?
Bon Jovi,
Yeah.
yeah.
Bon
Called her mom.
Jovi.
Cool.
The best.
I got a
the best
hookup if you
bar.
wanna go to Bon
the best
Jovi.
bar songs are by Bon Jovi.
Absolutely.
There's one thing me and Stucky will forever agree
Bon
on.
Jovi is an outstanding
Slam
concert.
some bush lights with Stucky.
You go
and
to a
sing
Bon Jovi
Living
concert,
on a Prayer.
You go to Bon
Hell
Jovi,
yeah.
and people that don't like Bon Jovi are like, "Oh, I forgot about this. Oh, wait, this
yeah,
song."
Yeah,
Bon Jovi.
is Bon Jovi like what Nickelback is to me and Corey and Ryan's like generation?
No, Bon Jovi was legit back in the day. Bon Jovi is better than Nickelback for sure, and Bruce Springsteen. That's the end of this show.
Oof. No.
Sorry about that.
I don't ascribe
Sorry
to
about that, Corey. I'll take Bon Jovi
Don't put that
over
on me.
Bruce Springsteen
I
24/7.
My mom played Bon
365.
Jovi every day in the car when I was a kid. I like Bon Jovi.
That's my life.
Bon Jovi's cool.
Ryan, I do have one more baseball question for you before we let you get on the road. We were, obviously tweeting and memeing and doing all sorts of things, so I might have missed it if it was on the broadcast, but did you see Ben Zobrist milling around like before the game? I know he was supposed to be there, but I don't remember if we saw him.
I saw some pictures of him.
So I saw, but
My dad, or my mom actually got a picture with him at like some autograph signing thing. I didn't see him personally. I know others saw him at various points. I didn't see him personally, kind of running back and forth and running around places, but he was here. He was here.
Okay, because I know the Cubs just tweeted out like all the Hall of Famers, but Zambrano wasn't in it and Ben Zobrist wasn't in it, but I know they were both there.
I'm trying to clarify here. Ben Zobrist had an autograph signing at the Field of Dreams, and your mom got an autograph, or your mom got an autograph at an autograph signing somewhere else previously?
It was today. I don't know where exactly this autograph signing was, but got it today. My mom sent me a picture of it. So
Well, now wait a minute.
You want us to share?
Are you
your
telling
mom
me
getting
your
an
mom is
autograph
at the
with-
Field of Dreams and you're riding home with Kevin instead of your own mother?
she didn't go to the game. She left. She was there
Oh,
with
okay.
other family members and left. before the game.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
I just want more Ben Zobrist.
Kevin says Ben
That's
Zobrist.
all.
we need more
more
Ben
Ben
Zobrist
Zobrist content. I know he was there, but he's the World Series MVP when the Chicago Cubs won the World Series. I want to see more
come
of him.
back into the scene. 'cause,
More at the ballpark. Like, he was in the stands for one of the games. Like, I want him on the field. I want him singing the stretch. No hologram. I do not want a Ben Zobrist hologram.
No.
Nobody do that. More Ben Zobrist. But, okay, that was my question.
Scorpions rock you like a hurricane is a banger. Ryan was already at heaven. Now he's halfway there, living on a prayer.
Nice.
Whoa.
Huh? All right. that's
Cody's
gonna wrap it
singing
up.
a couple times tonight.
Ryan drives safely. Cubs win their World Series of the summer. The
Can I give you
Field of
one
Dreams
more
game.
quote?
One more quote.
All right. This is tweeted from Jesse Rogers. Nico Hoerner. He says, "It felt like a college atmosphere. Definitely not normal. I could visibly see a horse from shortstop pretty easily." Bang bang.
Sick.
Bad Bunny.
You guys
out.
you have to see this view of just like when the sun was out, just how far the corn fields went. Like corn as far as the eye can see. Get me out of here. I need to go back to a place with buildings.
Tommy used to
Make sure to stop at a Casey's gas
Union went
station
on
on your way
strike.
home.
No,
Down
I've
on his luck.
stopped at enough Casey's.
Out on his
Casey's
luck.
actually does have good food, but I don't
Hey,
don't
breakfast
stop there.
pizza hits different. And for everyone in the chat that doesn't know, we now know. Bon Jovi and Casey's
In the words
Pizza.
of Bon Jovi, Ryan, have a great day. No, have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day. Have a nice day. Boy, I screwed that up. Fortunately, you're halfway there, living on a prayer. He's out.
He's had enough.
Ryan just started the car up. Vroom. Casey's on the road on the way back. Hey, if you see a Stuckey's on the way back, definitely stop.
Yeah.
You ever been at a Stuckey's?
No,
Great,
sir.
great Rice Krispie treats at Stuckey's.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Great ice cream, too.
It's a restaurant / gas station.
Oh, okay.
Kevin
I have a shirt that says "Eat at Stuckey's, get gas."
Kevin says Casey's on Ryan. So Ryan's buying the Casey's on the way.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
you got to get the slice of pizza. They have it. They have like a little thing that they put they keep the pizza warm. Just get you a slice. I'm telling you. I mean, it's
Buc-ee's,
not
yeah, I heard
Chicago
Buc-ee's.
pizza, but for if you're on a long road trip and you gotta get gas, I mean, if you're paying these gas prices, you might as well get yourself a nice slice of pizza. Hits different when you're in the car.
One
That's all I'm
more
saying.
suggestion for Ryan: if you do stop at a Casey's and you decide to eat the hot dog that's been spinning on that wheel for like 3 weeks, make sure you take a video of it. We'd like to see it on the Twitter. We appreciate it. Thanks for checking out the CHGO Cubs Postgame Show podcast presented by PointsBet. Cubs win the Field of Dreams game, and we even had a hologram of Harry Caray. Have a great night. Good morning. Thanks for watching and listening, and fly the W.